Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Hello, captains, and welcome to the live broadcast recording of episode 487 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. A shout out to our friends who are already in chat. We've got Dave Rutley, one of our patrons. Jamal is in there. Jason Smith's in there. Peter Archibald, another one of our patrons, are there. Jason, I think I think you're a patron as well. On top of also that donating your time and talents to the show, you are also a patron. So, hi, Tony. Hi, Kat.
Hello.
Did you get a haircut?
I did get a haircut.
Oh my gosh.
You
I
gave
cut my
up,
bangs, as you can tell.
Well, so I haven't. So the next round of the competition that I'm in is on Thursday. So when I rewatched the video of myself singing and I saw my hair, I was like, nah, man, nah. I can't, man.
You've got standards.
So I went and I got a hair, and my eyebrows. My eyebrows are done too.
Oh, nice.
So he had to cut his bangs, Kat. Otherwise, the eyebrow work would have just gone unnoticed.
Well, you know, I tried to cut mine straight, and it just kept getting shorter and shorter.
Well, but I can clearly see your eyebrows too. Now I can't tell from the video whether you've had your eyebrows done as well.
Look, I maintain my own.
Oh, okay, all right.
But they do look better when someone else does that.
Yeah, I get them nice and threaded.
Oh, nice.
All right, enough of our ablutions and follicle upkeeping. Hi, everybody. It's
Hello.
Tuesday on the 17th of November, and I hope that everybody watching right now is healthy and safe and is doing everything they can to stay that way, and your family as well. So why don't we do a show?
We could do that.
I think we should. All right.
Since we're here.
All right. So Restream is about to start. Riverside is about to start recording. 2, 1. Okay. Intro. In 3, 2. Oh, who's up? I don't know who it is. Is it me?
I think it's Tony.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Okay. This week on episode 487 of Priority 1, we trek out streaming numbers, Viacom, CBS, BIPOC initiatives, what is Who Will Be the Next Jeopardy host, and Brentwood, In Star Trek Gaming, we talk about Star Trek Online's Zenki.
Wait. That's wrong. That's not how Jeopardy works. It's will be the next Jeopardy host. Isn't it? What is the next Jeopardy host?
The way,
I forget. How do you phrase that?
I mean, the answer that would pop up on the screen would be
Who is?
LeVar Burton.
Right.
And then the answer would be who is.
Oh, I see.
That would be that. I mean,
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to just stick with what we got.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start. In Star Trek Gaming, we talk about Star Trek Online Senkethi Lobi Bundle, the dreaded Mud Bundle.
Wait. Do me a favor, take it from the top. So that way Brandon, when he edits this, is not going to...
Okay. This week on episode 487 of Priority 1, we trek out...
Sorry. I can't mute my mic, by the way. That's weird.
Yeah, you can
disable? Oh, okay.
Mic, yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
All right, so
Take
actually,
3. Here we go.
Intro at 137. That's where we're at.
Okay. I'm just going to put 140, just round up a little bit. Okay, here we go. This week on episode 487 of Priority 1, we trek out streaming numbers, Viacom, CBS, BIPOC initiatives, who will be the next Jeopardy host, and Brentwood. In Star Trek Gaming, we talk about Star Trek Online's Zenkethi Lumbi. In Star Trek Gaming, we talk about Star Trek Online's Zenkethi Lobi Bundle, the dreaded Mud Bundle of Also Dread, and STO's monetization model. Then we head on screen to watch Star Trek Discovery's newest episode, Die Trying.
Hello, Captains. You're listening to episode 487 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast, your weekly recap and review of all the major news happening in the Star Trek multiverse. This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, November 17th, 2020, and available for download or streaming on Friday, November 20th at PriorityOnePodcast.com. I'm Elio.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Tony.
And in the live stream technical booth this episode is audio editor extraordinaire Brandon Parker. Brandon, I know that our audience can't hear you, but thank you so very much for being willing to manage this cacophony of what is Priority 1 live streaming. He says thank you, much appreciated.
Sure he does.
Brandon, where are you?
That's right. And Brandon, of course, who we all trust Elio is here with us, is doing a great job.
You know
Good
what,
job, Brandon?
Brandon, you know what? Feel free to record yourself. You'll be editing this, right? So feel free to add your own little voice to it.
I do have a question, though, while we're doing this. I see a recording thing up in my little thing, but I don't have a timer.
Yeah, if you scroll down, if you go to the side panel, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a, where it says participants in chat. If you scroll down, you'll see it there.
No, I don't.
All right, well, I got it.
I'm only saying that because I'm sure you're recording the stream, but if the whole point of this is to record separate tracks for all the participants, I just want to make sure that's actually happening.
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah, I see it. I see. So when do you see a column that says participants in chat?
Yes.
And when you scroll down on participants, you don't see untitled recording,
Nope.
Elio, Cat, Tony, view all recordings?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, I guess so then I will have to be the one keeping track. Or I'll just tell you. Can I just tell you the number and then you write it down?
Yeah, that's fine. Except, like I said, I mean, we're sure that my track is being recorded separately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As long as that's happening, because last week I had indications of that happening, and this week I have no indications of that happening.
No, it's recording.
Okay.
Do you see? Yeah. Do you see us? Yeah. It's recording.
Okay. As long as you're getting a separate track from me. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Okay. So you're doing things now.
Okay. Hello, captains.
You already did all that stuff. Okay. So okay. Now we'll just move on. Okay. Captains, each week between episodes, we love to engage in conversations with you, our listeners, on places like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So if you aren't already following us on any of those, be sure to look us up. There we post things like community questions, special announcements, and more. Just search for Priority 1 Podcast on your favorite social media app, and you will find us. Or you can just email us, Reach us at incoming@priorityonepodcast.com.
Captains, as you are already well aware, everyone who participates in the production of this show is a volunteer. I like making this comparison, and I'm going to continue to make it. Priority One behaves much like a community theater organization. They're not in it for profit, and many of them barely even break even. All the money that we collect from our patrons who find value in the content of the show, from the occasional sponsor that we receive, that money goes right back into the weekly production of this show. But we cannot produce this show without dedicated volunteers, people who have a passion for Star Trek and have talents that they feel might help better Priority One podcast. So right now we have a few positions to fill. Specifically, we are looking to add more members to our audio editing team. So if you are interested, please visit PriorityOnePodcast.com. Check out the menu up above where it says join the crew, and there you'll see a description of what it means to be an audio editor for Priority One. No single person edits the entire show, so don't worry, we're not going to give you 2 hours of raw files to edit. We split it up. And so when we have more members of the team volunteering, it makes for light work. Many hands make for light work. So if you've had an interest in participating and being a part of the team for Priority One podcast, then please visit our website fill out the form, or just email us at incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com. Kat, you can sweep us out. That's enough.
Now let's check out the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse.
7:42. Brandon says, nice job.
Brandon says, nice job. Okay. Good. Tell Brandon thank you.
He can hear you.
Good. So is he over there? Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
This is going to be a ongoing joke.
It's all right. Yeah. Everyone needs imaginary friends. It's been a rough year. People have been cooped up inside their apartments and homes.
It's true.
We don't get to see our real friends.
We don't.
So maybe we need some imaginary ones.
This is Brandon right here. This is Brandon.
The guy, the little red helmet. The little red helmet.
The red
right
helmet.
there.
This
Okay.
Don't you see his mouth moving?
His name is Brandon, everyone.
All right. Stuart Folly says hello in the chat. We got a nice little group of people going on. So speaking of chat, hi everybody, number one. And if you haven't already done so, please hit that like button if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Those are really important. What?
What?
Oh, yeah. Stuart Folly said, stop. You see, I can't. Now I look crazy. Now I do something crazy because Brandon talks to me. And I'm like, what? Yes. So if you're watching, wherever you're watching us right now, hit that like or subscribe button. Oh, look, Brandon's, you see, look, guys, Brandon's typing and check it out. He's there. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That goes a long way. That really does help us quite a bit. So please do that. And also, of course, hit that share button and let your friends know that you're watching. Stop, Brandon.
For the record, we can't see Elio's hands, so it could be that he's logged himself in on an account called Brandon Parker, and it's typing in it. Yeah, could be.
You can type, Brandon. It's all right. Just don't curse anybody. All right. Yeah, that's actually a really good way, Brandon. If you feel free to type in the chat and engage with everybody. So feel free to do it. All right, Trek It Out, starting at 10 minutes. Wait, what? Why are you leaving? We're about to do Trek It Out. Oh, okay. Just remember, we're gonna phase into the different scenes now. All right. So Trek It Out.
This is not going. this is bad radio. This is bad radio.
Brandon goes, I'm gonna go get a drink now. And I'm like, what? No, we got to do Trek It Out. You gotta switch scenes. No. We're starting Trek It Out at 10 minutes. I got to record the time.
So a long time ago, I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. Right. And the thing about his show was he had a guy in the booth. His name was Bo Snerdley. And one part of his shtick was he would talk to Snerdley. Now, no one could hear Snerdley except him. And so the radio would just go silent for a while Snerdley talked to him in his ear, and then he would say something to the radio listeners out here. I'm getting flashbacks right now, and I am not enjoying that. I'm not enjoying that at all. All right,
we'll figure it out. Well, maybe Brandon, figure out how to do the audio on your own machine, so that way you don't have to use Shadow.
All right.
And you should always have a backup drink, Brandon. See, I made that mistake, and I'm already running out.
Right. Well, you made the mistake last week too, Kat.
And I have no drink.
It's a common mistake.
All right, so Trek It Out is now starting at 11:30.
11:30. All
right. Trek It Out in 3, 2.
We love numbers. They can tell us so much about a wide variety of topics, and also they can tell us nothing at all. So take this exciting adventure with us, dear listeners, as we dive into the rush of alphanumerics, streaming numbers. This week, as they do most weeks, Business Insider ranked the top streaming shows for the last week, and Star Trek Discovery hit number 3 on the list. The ratings provided by Parrot Analytics placed Star Trek higher than The Umbrella Academy and The Boys, but still looking up at Stranger Things and The Mandalorian. Star Trek Discovery's Metacritic rating for the current season is at 93%. That's also third on the list, topped by The Boys and the newest season of Star Wars, The Clone Wars, which is at 100%. I guess everyone likes Star Wars. But numbers. According to Forbes, the state of the streaming wars, CBS All Access, the streaming platform that streams all things Star Trek, has the lowest subscribers of any... has the lowest subscriber numbers of any premium service. And they rolled Showtime subscribers into the All Access tally. Netflix tops the list with 195 million subscribers, and newcomer Peacock checks in with a solid 22 million. CBS All Access, 17.9 million. So what does that all mean? Well, like I said in the intro, numbers can tell us so much, and at the same time, so little.
There's a lot here to unpack just from these preliminary numbers. First of all, Disney already hit their goal that was set for 2024 with $73 million, actually $73.7 million. 73.7 million subscriptions. That's insanity. That's just crazy to me. What is also surprising to me is how did Peacock already outsubscribe CBS All Access?
That's got me shaking my head too. I mean, Peacock is terrible. There's nothing on Peacock. There's just nothing going on Peacock. I don't understand how they can have 22 million subscribers unless, see, this is my theory. Comcast owns NBC, and Peacock is NBC's thing. So if Comcast just gave everybody a Peacock subscription or Peacock access as part of their cable package, that would count, I suppose. Because they could just they could charge people on their cable bill $9.99 a month or whatever, and then just give them a $9.99 credit, which then they would be subscribers, but they'd be getting a credit on their cable bill. So I suspect shenanigans, but still, that's pretty terrible to be last place, to come in behind Peacock. That's awful, shameful.
Via Verta says in chat that, or I'm sorry, was it? I can't read. Jamal Taylor says there's NBC Sports on Peacock, so that might be why there's more people.
I think CBS All Access has the CBS stuff, the CBS Sports. Don't you get sports entertainment through CBS?
Yeah, some.
I'm not sure.
The other thing that is a little misleading is comparing these numbers to shows that have already aired and are now just on not syndication, but now just you can watch them at any time, like The Boys or Stranger Things. These seasons have already aired. If you're going to make the comparison, I think the better one is going to be Star Trek Discovery and The Mandalorian, because they both release on a weekly basis, right? Star Trek on Thursday and Mandalorian on Friday, or both on Friday if you're outside of the United States and can't watch Star Trek Discovery on CBS All Access. So yeah, it's a little misleading to start comparing them to the other older shows. Tony, somebody else have the last word, because I have the next scene.
Yeah, well, all I can say is that whether you're comparing apples to oranges or apples to watermelons or whatever, Paramount Plus needs to do better. Because if you're in last place, I mean, ABC has Disney, so I mean that's just going to happen. But you got to do better than Peacock. Good Lord, it's shameful.
Hey, Kat, you know your webcam's off, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. The cat hit something and then it went off, and I've tried. I probably have to restart, but whatever. Y'all saw me earlier.
It's a good thing it's a radio show.
Yeah, right.
What happens when you click the little webcam icon on Riverside?
I did that. It shows it's enabled. I picked disable, enable, and it still won't enable. I tried plugging it, unplugging, and plugging it back in. I don't know.
Oh, well. All right. If 2020 has done anything, it's given us all crippling anxiety. But it has also raised awareness of social injustice. This week, Viacom CBS continued to institute policies that will hopefully bring Star Trek's future of inclusion and equality. That's a bad sentence. That will hopefully bring Star Trek's future of inclusion and equality. Bring a reality? No, bring Star Trek.
Or you can just say make. Just change bring to make.
Oh, yeah.
There, that works.
If 2020 has done anything, it's given us all some level of anxiety. But it has also raised awareness of social injustice. This week, Viacom CBS continued to institute policies that will hopefully make Star Trek's future of inclusion and equality a reality. According to Deadline, CBS has enacted an edict that would require 50% of its reality television cast to be Black, Indigenous, or people of color. Further, at least 25% of the show's development budget must be spent on BIPOC. How do we on BIPOC?
I said BIPOC in the intro. I have no idea if that's right.
Further, at least 25% of the show's development budget. Further, at least 25% of the show's development budget must be spent on BIPOC creators and producers. Why is this important? Well, most programming for the 2020 and 2021 season has shifted towards reality programming due to the global pandemic. And the edict brings reality television in line with Viacom CBS's policies regarding its scripted brethren. Back in July, Viacom CBS announced that, quote, the broadcaster is committing 25% of its script development budget to projects from creators, writers, and producers who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color. The scheme will begin with the 21-22 development season. 2021, all right. The scheme will begin with the 2021-22 development season. It is also mandating that writers' rooms for CBS shows must be staffed with a minimum of 40% BIPOC representation for the 2021-22 broadcast season.
BIPOC.
I looked it up. At least one person
BIPOC?
on YouTube says BIPOC.
Ken from Chicago concurs.
Okay.
Thanks, Ken.
It's also mandating that writers' rooms for CBS shows must be staffed with a minimum of 40% BIPOC representation for the 2021-22 broadcast season. This will be increased to 50% for the 2022-23 season, end quote. For a link, check it out in our show notes.
That's awesome. I don't really know what else we can say about that.
Yeah,
Good for them. Way to be progressive.
what I do like, what is worthy of noting in the Deadline articles is that CBS is the first broadcast network in the United States to. What's noteworthy from these articles is that Deadline writes, quote, CBS is the first broadcast network in the U.S. to put in hard targets, end quote. You see, this is what we're talking about, right? Actionable movements towards inclusivity, towards making it a better place for BIPOC, for making it a better place for Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Right? This is what matters. It's not just about putting up an image of a black background and white text. This is taking action. This is measurable. This is something that this is something that they can be held accountable to. And it's great. No one else?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Last week, Canadian-born game show icon Alex Trebek passed away after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The 80-year-old Trebek spent
Kat,
30...
I try. So you read it a little too...
upbeat?
Yeah, it was...
I was trying to show empathy.
There was a bit of... Yeah, there was a bit of...
All right, I'll be more morose. Take it down. One moment. Really should have got the emergency backup.
Might have helped.
Right? Last week, Canadian-born game show icon Alex Trebek passed away after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The 80-year-old Trebek spent 37 seasons hosting the popular trivia game show Jeopardy, and his passing... Oh, whoops, I missed a word. The 80-year-old Trebek spent 37 seasons hosting the popular trivia game show Jeopardy, and his passing... Damn it. Grr. Okay, I'm going to just start over. Last week, Canadian-born game show icon Alex Trebek passed away after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The 80-year-old Trebek spent 37 seasons hosting the popular trivia game show Jeopardy, and following his passing, many were left wondering who would replace the legendary host. While no one could truly replace Trebek,
Try that again.
While no one could truly replace Trebek, many fans had a suggestion for the vacancy: Roots, Reading Rainbow, and Star Trek star LeVar Burton. Fan Joshua Sanders started a Change.org petition for the 63-year-old Burton, saying, quote, between hosting 21 seasons of the educational Reading Rainbow, playing the brainiac engineer Geordi LaForge on Star Trek The Next Generation, and filling out the role of Kunta Kinte, quote, between hosting 21 seasons of the educational Reading Rainbow, playing the brainiac engineer Geordi LaForge on Star Trek The Next Generation, and filling the role of Kunta Kinte in the ever-important miniseries Roots, LeVar Burton has inspired and shaped the minds of several generations of trivia-loving nerds. This petition is to show Sony Pictures Entertainment, Inc. and producer Mike Richards and Harry Friedman just how much love the public has for Burton and how much we'd all love to see him as the next host of Jeopardy!, end quote. At the time of this writing, the petition had over 89,000 signatures with a goal of 150,000. On November 12th, the man of the hour, LeVar Burton, tweeted about the petition, saying, quote, even if nothing comes from it, I can't tell you how much I appreciate all y'all's love and support. Folded hands, heart, suit, end quote.
This is a great idea.
Yeah, there aren't very many people that I can think of right now that could fill those shoes. I mean, Alex Trebek was a staple. I mean, he was a cornerstone of American television. I mean, it just...
the list is very short of game show icons. I mean, Bob Barker, you got Alex Trebek, right. Pat Sajak.
I mean, the only person better, I think, than LeVar Burton at this point would be Will Ferrell doing Alex Trebek. I mean, that would I think that's the only other person that could do it besides LeVar Burton.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that LeVar has had such a pivotal role in education, in literacy, that I mean, who else but LeVar?
It's the credibility factor. I mean, he was, just the target market for Jeopardy is unfortunately coming towards people my age, because there's older folks and they may remember LeVar Burton.
That's not true. I have a lot of friends who have even tried out for Jeopardy.
Oh, really?
My age, actually, even younger. This one guy, this one guy that I do quite a number of shows with, talented pianist and accompanist. He is like die-hard Jeopardy fan, and he's in his late 20s.
I think that just makes the case stronger.
I have a friend that actually was on Jeopardy. She posted her pictures with Alex Trebek,
Nice.
and it was really sweet. And I mean, I don't think she got very far, but good for her.
Yeah, no,
she made it on.
Yeah, but I think getting LeVar Burton to do it, I think there's a certain credibility for the guy that says you should read a book, and then you see him on the stage, giving answers to trivia questions. I mean, there's a trust factor there, and he's really personable. I mean, when you see him at the conventions and stuff, he just on stage he's got a very warm personality, and I think that people would connect with him on the screen in that role as a host.
Yeah,
so. It's a good choice. They should do it.
Well, that leads us to our first community question for this week. Do you think LeVar Burton should be the next host of Jeopardy? If so, have you signed the petition? If so, have you signed the Jesus? If so, have you signed the petition? And if not, why haven't you? Go sign it now. Links will be in our show notes. And don't forget, you can comment and share with us why you think LeVar Burton would be an excellent host of Jeopardy by replying to this community question post at PriorityOnePodcast.com or by replying to this post on social media, typically when we post it on Wednesdays.
Well, it sounds like everybody loves LeVar Burton, right? Wrong. Brent Spiner hates LeVar Burton. And after all 7 of those Evites, who can blame him? And if you've got no idea what I'm talking about, then you're going to want to follow the link in our show notes. Well, after you're done listening to this show, of course. Spiner and the aforementioned LeVar Burton star in the Amuleto short film titled Brentwood. In the short-form comedy, Spiner plays an exaggerated version of himself, think along the lines of Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm, who hates his neighbors, conventions, award shows, podcasts, and especially hates LeVar Burton. They're singing, dancing.
Is it really an exaggeration? Is it?
I don't know. Having heard your stories, it may not be much of one.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't he
love you, Brent.
pretty?
It's still because of you that I went into theater. I love you.
They're singing, dancing, shrimp, EpiPens, and content rather inappropriate for younger audiences, so be sure to keep that in mind before you turn it on. The 12-minute film was directed by Sharon Everett and written by Karen Anderson, Jeff Cosgrove, and Everett himself, or herself. Let me try it again. The 12-minute film was directed by Sharon Everett and written by her, Karen Anderson, and Jeff Cosgrove. Check out our show notes if you want to watch the film, and trust me, I think you want to watch the film. I liked it. It was funny.
Yeah, this picks up where the beginning of this featurette picks up where it left off a few months ago. He did that number where everybody wants Brent, and he's tossing the laundry around. That opening scene was obviously part of this bigger thing, which is fun and exciting. Good for him. Good for him for staying creative during this pandemimic.
There was not a lot of social distancing going on. Was this during the pandemic, or did they film it before?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they probably filmed it before, but
maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, there were a couple of good laugh out loud type moments there, and yeah, it was a good show.
All right, Kat, you can sweep us up.
Well, Captains, that's all the news we have to check out this week. Now let's find out what happened in the world of Star Trek gaming.
Okay, that ended at 30:05. Okay, so gaming, Star Trek. We have quite a bit to say about Star Trek.
Oh, do we ever?
So much
Why
copy.
Kat, why don't you go get a refill? Tony, I'm not gonna leave you. Then I'm
Good.
gonna go get a refill.
Well,
Brandon, go take a break.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could leave me
2
here
minutes,
with.
So like that's what we're talking about. Like 2 minutes. Don't go running away too far.
Yeah, you could leave me here with Brandon if you wanted to.
I'm not gonna leave you here with Brandon. Tony.
With Brandon, and
go,
I
Brandon,
could
go.
talk to Brandon.
No, that's okay.
Brandon and I could sit here together.
That's all right.
That's probably a bad idea. You shouldn't leave me unsupervised with your imaginary friend. It would be a bad idea.
I shan't. Yeah, so we got a nice group talking this week and in our chat. That's great, guys. That's great. Don't forget, while we're on this break, take that opportunity to hit the like button wherever you're watching. Hit those reaction buttons, right? That like and the love or all that stuff, because that really goes a long way. And making sure that after we go off air, the algorithms do their thing. So please do that. And if you have friends that you think might be entertained by our musings, then hit that share button too.
We have musings. Most of them I think are entertaining. I mean, amusing, maybe. I mean, a good night.
Hold on, Brandon was talking. What was that, Brandon? Now he's reading what Duncan Idaho put. Mist pours into Tony's room. Brandon descends to feed on his red blood cells.
Hey, Duncan
my
Idaho.
friends.
Are you back? All right, I'm gonna go get.
I'm back.
I think
Sweet.
I think now's a good time to remind everyone that when your friend shows sign of cracking under the strain.
Is this their call for help?
when their behavior suddenly changes. I mean, we're all used to giving everybody a little space and room to breathe when times are tough, but sometimes you do have to act. And if they've gone nutty, I mean, you do need to reach out and try to get them the help that they need, because I'm a little worried for Elio now, because he's talking about feeding on my red blood cells. Imaginary voices in his head that he's talking to.
Oh God, no!
Pointing.
He's not the non-corporeal entity from TNG's Sub Rosa Ken from Chicago.
He's named his Power Rangers mask there in the background. I mean, I think we're on the edge here, everyone. We might need to stage an intervention of some kind.
Maybe even Allie's made up.
I've seen Allie. I know she's real. I've
met her. She's lovely.
Yeah. So
all right. So we've established that.
Yeah, that we have some anchors that we can attach. We can attach his persona to if we need to. I think Allie is one of them. Next, he just needs to admit that Power Rangers mask is in fact just a mask, and that Brandon is an audio editor for us and has been for a long time, but. I don't know that he's there now. I don't know that if he's really a voice in Elio's ear or what. I don't know if that's true. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
what else
Texas?
is new? Yeah, it's hot.
Oh, it's hot?
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess it is only November.
I mean, it was 80 something today.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, it was the 30s, I think, here in Kansas today.
What? Oh my gosh. It did get cool at night, and I turned the heat back on, but I think it only got to the 50s.
Yeah, it's there must be a line somewhere in Oklahoma. Oh, it got to the 50s today. High was in the 50s today.
Oh,
But
wow.
we had terrible wind.
Via Virtus is in Waco. Hey, that's awesome. That's not too far from me in Austin. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
So we have to think of somebody else to be a Jeopardy host, because I don't think LeVar Burton's going to make it.
There's very few people that I would think would be good at hosting Jeopardy. I mean, I just can't even imagine someone other than Alex Trebek doing it, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's been doing it for so long. It's kind of his gig.
But I mean,
got it.
You
know who could do it?
Who?
Seth MacFarlane.
No, he's too annoying.
But I think he could do. I think he could do it though. He's goofy though, right? He's goofy.
Yeah, he's too.
It's not necessarily a compliment for me to say that somebody would make a good game show host. Like, I want to make that clear right away. That's not necessarily a good thing.
Ken from someone else reiterated Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes, possibly, but
no,
he's not as personable though.
Right,
as
he's
LeVar
not.
Burton.
Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of charm.
They can't hear you, Brandon. They can't hear you. So all you're doing is
but Elio
what's happening now in my brain is like this is happening. This is happening.
Yes, we know. We were talking about that while you were gone. We were wondering if we have to stage some kind of intervention. So yeah, I mean, we sensed that was happening.
We could, you guys could be on. We could do it where on Discord we're all muted, and that way Brandon can talk to us on Discord. We could do that.
Hey, you know what? If Brandon is real, if he's real and he's really running the thing, however he sets it up and understands it and can run it is his as long as when he pushes the go button, all the recordings and transmittings happen.
All right.
I'm down with whatever.
We'll figure it out. Look, this is running really well so far. Brandon's doing a really good job right now live streaming. So let's just give him a round of applause, please. He's been doing a real good job.
Y'all can't even see me. I was applauding.
Sure.
In my mind.
Yes, Mr. Snuffleupagus is doing really well.
All right, here we are.
I'm just going to milk this all night long. You know that, right?
I know.
I've latched onto it. I'm not giving it up.
All right, still gaming. Star Trek gaming. We are at 3710. Gaming in 3, 2.
Bundles. If there's anything that typifies the current player experience in Star Trek Online.
Hold on a second. I really need you to bundle that. That it just.
Oh, like be tired about it. Okay.
Bundle like.
Yeah.
Because there are two other syllables that make that really that could change the word.
Right. Okay. Right. Bundles. If there's anything that typifies the current player experience in Star Trek Online, it's the ever-expanding number of bundles for sale. By far, the majority of bundles have been available through the C-Store. Isn't it time for the Lobby Store to get some love? Well, fear not, PC captains, because the Zenkethi are here to help. Sort of. Hooray. The limited edition Zenkethi Lobby bundle will be locking its...
Do like a hooray.
Let me drag that out a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, like a sad hooray.
Well, fear not, PC captains, because the Zenkethi are here to help. Sort of. Hooray. The limited edition Zenkethi Lobby bundle will be locking its trajectory onto the PC Lobby store from November 20th through the 30th. Captains who drop 1,800 Lobby. Let me repeat that just real quick. 1,800 Lobby and walk the path of spending will get these character-bound bundle contents. To wit, the Zenkethi Shukdin Escort, that's a tier 6, 5 diffusive Tetrion weapons, a universal console, the shared processing integration, the Zenkethi Vanity Shield, Zenkethi Duty Officer assignments, and 6 ultimate tech upgrades. 1,800 Lobby.
Okay, so I need to. I want to break this down, right? Because Lobby are this
currency.
A currency, a very but I wanted to almost call it ethereal, because in a box, when you open a lockbox in Star Trek Online, you can either get the big prize or you can get a little prize or something, right? And we've had conversations with folks like Our Rivera time and again where where they are very defensive about lockboxes, right? And the idea that nobody should open up a lockbox and feel like they didn't get something worthwhile. So
excuse me. $1.25 worthwhile.
Right. So I'm thinking of what this translates to in dollars, right? 1,800 low buy, 1,800 low buy.
I have that number.
At an average of what? You open up a box and you get anywhere between
4
and 4?
4. No. 4. Starts at 4 generally.
Starts at 4 generally.
The average is 4.
Okay.
Right.
There can be more, but the more low buy are the special things which you don't get very often. I suppose the average could be 4.1, but you get 4 Lobi. That's what you get.
So what's that math? What does
$450?
Okay, so $450, right, of opening boxes, right?
Pretty
That's
much.
what we're talking about. Just roughly $450 of opening boxes.
Wait.
Give or take.
Are keys $1 or $1.25?
125.
Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. I need to adjust my calculation here real quick. 450 times 1.25. Excuse me. I apologize. That's $562.50. Excuse me.
US
I apologize.
dollars.
U.S. dollars. American.
And they are selling this bundle for how much? No, it's
1,800
Zen.
Lobi.
I'm sorry. That's right. You can't buy it with money. You have to buy it with Lobi.
Yes.
Right? Lobi is not a currency that can be exchanged or handed to other players. It is bound to account. So
I think it's bound to character, isn't it?
No, account.
It's bound to account. Okay.
yeah. So all right, Kat, what are your hearings? What's the reaction been? What's your opinion on it?
I haven't really heard anyone say anything positive about this because
Time out. Tony
What?
wants to say something.
It's right here in the show notes. Low buy store equals character bound items.
right, the items you purchase with Lobi, but the Lobi itself is account bound.
Right. And that's what I was saying. That Lobi is not exchangeable.
Oh,
Right.
I could. You can put it in your account bank or something like that.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Lobi, not the item, but the Lobi you can.
I have
Right.
like 6 characters. I only ever play the one. I only ever open up lockboxes on the one. I apologize for my ignorance. I just don't play the old game.
All right, so, go ahead, Kat.
So normally ships in the Lobi store are 900 Lobi, the newer ships. So 1,800 Lobi, you could get 2 ships, but they're throwing in, your weapons and this console that you get off another of the Zenkethi ships. But that is available through the Infinity. So when you open Infinity lockboxes, you can get consoles, and that is one of the options that you can pick. So there's a couple of ways you can get that console. The point
Which console? What are we talking about? We're talking about the Universal Shared Processing Integration console.
Correct.
And
correct.
that's a console that people kind of want. Like that's something.
It's a really good console. But the point is, you're spending all this Lobi for one ship, and stuff that you could get otherwise. That's probably cheaper to get it otherwise than to spend all your Lobi on this pack. So from what I have heard in Armada chat and on Twitter, no one's really a fan of this pack. I am not going to get this pack.
Right. Well, we got other bundles to talk about, right? Is it safe to move
Yes.
on, or do we want to stay?
Oh, it's safe.
Well, I do want to point out one thing, and Duncan Idaho and someone else mentioned it earlier, is that right now there's a Modifius promo that comes with that exact ship for $15. So 1,800 Lobi is not. This is not where you want to spend your Lobi, people. So
Wait. You can get
Yes.
the ship with this console that people want.
No, it does.
No,
Just the ship,
Oh, just the
not
ship.
not the
Okay.
extra bits. But the ship. It's $15. Do not spend your Lobi on this. There are so many other things in the Lobi store worth getting.
All right. Duly noted. We'll have links, of course, to that Modifius bundle in our show notes.
Oh, hold on. I have parts to say.
You
You got whole lines.
Oh, yeah.
Thief, swindler, conman, liar, rogue. Yes, Harcourt Benton Mudd has warped into the C-store with another of his infamous Mudd's Market Choice Packs. This week's new offering is called Mudd's Choice Pack of Dread. Since we're all getting pretty familiar with the idea of Mudd's Choice Packs by now, let's just cover the essential details quickly. From the choice pack, you can choose any of the three. Whoops. From the choice pack, you can choose any three of the following: the T6 Herc Vecrid Hive Dreadnought, the T6 Tholian Tarantula Dreadnought, the T6 Temporal Paradox Dreadnought, 50 Master Keys, 2 coupons for a 100% off Tier 6 C-Store ship, or 10 Ultimate Tech Upgrades. And let's not forget, those T6 Dreadnoughts are account-wide unlocks when purchased here. If you
Only
buy...
when purchased.
Oh, whoops. And let's not forget, those T6 Dreadnoughts are account-wide unlocks only when purchased here. If you buy the same ship with Lobby, it's a character-locked ship. First, let us state something clearly. The value proposition for this bundle looks decent in the mathematics, like pretty much all of the legendary bundles or MUDs packs. If these choices look good to you and you've got the disposable cash, then you probably won't get struck with buyer's remorse.
Now, let's talk about why we're not going to rave over another one of MUD's market bundles. Not to put too fine a point on it, 2020 has been a year of seismic change in how Star Trek Online wants you to buy starships. And if I asked you how many brand new Tier 6 ships hit the C-Store for individual non-bundle purchases in 2020, what would you guess is that number? How many ships have been released like that? If you guessed more than 4, you're wrong. August's cross-faction support carrier bundle introduced only 4 individually available ships new to the C-Store this year. Now, how many new or remodeled Tier 6 ships hit the C-Store this year locked into a... Okay. Now, let's ask this. How many new or remodeled Tier 6 ships hit the C-Store this year locked and bound into a bundle selling for between $60 and $120 US? The correct answer, we believe, is 7 ships. For bonus points, how many new Tier 6 ships have arrived via lockbox or promotional boxes in 2020? Yeah, we count 5 of those.
Which brings us back to the topic at hand, MUD's Market, where another deal slides in at the $295 regular price for 3 ships. This is the third MUD's Choice Pack of 2020. A few other ships appeared solo in MUD's Market as well. This takes us to something like 23 out of 20... This adds up to something like 23 out of 27 ships in the year of our Lord 2020 not available for single purchase via Zen. It's pretty clear to us that the direction of monetization in Star Trek Online has taken a drastic turn towards high-stakes purchases. So we don't think it's just a question of whether there's value in these bundles. Clearly there is, mathematically. But what has happened to the offerings for... But what about the offerings for lower stakes, more casual players? Everybody wants to enjoy the amazing work of Star Trek Online's talented ship artists and ship designers, but it's monetized way out of reach for most people. And for the love of the great bird, don't even mention the reputation Tier 5 buyout, or someone's going to lose it over here. This is price discrimination at work, right? Set it up way high, clear the market for the people that are willing to pay those super high prices, and then occasionally put it on sale or maybe break it out into individual chunks later on. I mean, this is market segmentation, price discrimination. It's textbook.
So I don't understand this MUD's Market thing. I don't, finances and economics have never been my strong suit. So I will not pretend to understand it. But right now, this bundle is at an introductory price that translates to roughly $150 or so, right? You buy $100 worth of Zen, which gives you 11,000 Zen. Then you need an additional $20 or so, $50 or so to make up the difference. So let's just round it to about $150, maybe a little less probably. And you get this bundle. I don't why are they doing this? Tony, explain this to me again. Why do this introductory rate and then raise the price? What if I remember correctly, when the MUD's Market first dropped, it was an experiment in marketing and PR. Like, nah, nobody's ever gonna buy it at $2.95. We're just offering it now at, this price because that's, we're just trying to be funny and coy because it's mud. It's Harry Mudd.
It's a game, right? Just like the game. So you set the regular price at the super high level, and you try to get everybody, what the idea is, if people want it bad enough, they'll pay the really high price. The introduction here is that get it while it's hot. See who really goes for it, and it gives them idea how popular the bundle is because the resistance to buying it is much lower. So they'll get an idea of how good the bundle is by seeing the uptake of it. Then they put it back to the regular price. And from then on, it's just, well, who really is desperate enough to take it? And then eventually, once they've got everybody who will jump on it at the low resistance, everybody that will buy it against their better judgment because they really, really want those items, right? Once they've cleared that segment of the market out, then at some point later, they can break it down into smaller bundles or just put the big bundle on sale again at an even deeper discount because they will have cleared the market of everybody who wants to pay the high price. It's segmentation of the market. Everybody who is happy or at least willing to pay the high price has been cleared out. Those people are gone. Now we're down to the little people.
All right, Kat. So why don't you, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about, what overall, how this impacts players, existing players, what.
I mean, there's always players that want the new thing, no matter, what it costs. But it also seems like they're testing the market too on where their price point's going to be on some of these packs because, where this is the regular price of $295. Some of the other packs, their regular price is $120. So I feel like they're trying to find the point at which people are willing to buy up most of these, bundles and the price that's just too high by the, less better, the lower performing bundles. But every week is a new bundle and, it's some combination of, either a character only ship that you can get in Lobby like these, this new bundle. These are all Lobby ships that you can get. And so now, because Lobby is character bound, the appeal of this pack is if you really like those ships, you want them account wide.
Wait, I thought Lobby was not character bound; it was account bound.
Right, but once you buy something with your Lobby, the item is character bound. So if you buy one of these ships out of the Lobby store, it's character bound, but the appeal of these packs is that it makes these ships account unlocks. Which is what suckered me into the Amari one because, dang, I love that ship. And I totally bought that pack. Because, sometimes you pick it for the wrong character and you're like, I really wish I would have chosen this ship on a different character. And this gives you that ability. So if there's a ship in there that you really like, and you picked it on the wrong character, this gives you the ability to pick it on the character you want.
So let me ask this question, right? How many players really take advantage of account unlock starships anyway, right? I've said before, time and again, I'm a casual player, and I have my main, I have one other alt that I don't even know why I still have it, and then I have a Klingon, right? And so I don't have dozens of alts. I don't have a long list of alternate characters and other characters that to play Star Trek Online. So it doesn't appeal to me, right?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, some people that do have a lot of characters do want the options, but a lot of people have specific characters that it doesn't matter to them, that they would never fly the same ship on two different characters anyway. So, it comes down to did you regret opening on the character you opened it on, and how valuable is that for you to be able to open it on the one you wanted it on? But yeah, for a casual player, the account unlock is probably not that appealing. So maybe it's just getting the other bits, the ultimate tech upgrades, keys or whatever else is offered in the bundle. Maybe that's an incentive for, players.
And let's go back to the Lobby versus C-Store thing that we opened the segment with, is that people have had problems with lockboxes for a while. We were we were vociferous when this first came out. We had many conversations with Al when they first did lock boxes. This may be their testing of how to get away from being lockbox dependent, or attempting to lower their dependency on lockboxes, because maybe they see smoke on the horizon via government regulation or whatever. They may be trying to find different ways to give people items for cash without the I'm going to use gambling in quotes, because lockboxes I don't think are really gambling, but without the gambling factor of lockboxes, which would obviously then eliminate Lobi as a thing, because you would need a second chance store if you weren't, quote, gambling with lockboxes. So we may be seeing the Smuds market and the bundling as tests of how to continue to get high dollars from your whales, but then at the same time also eventually cater to people who want the lower stakes transaction.
So we haven't seen very many ships be released, like brand new ships be released in the C store as independent purchases for a long while.
Right.
For
reasons previously discussed.
What's going to happen? So they're going to run out of ships to rebundle, right? Are they going to start releasing new ships as bundles? Like, I can only imagine, right, how the team reacted to this last week's episode of Star Trek Discovery and all those future ships. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? I can only imagine how excited they were.
Freeze framing, blowing up into huge monitors. Yeah, exactly.
And we need to take a moment to separate something, right? They're not excited because they want to nickel and dime you. They're excited because people like Thomas and his team and the environment artists get excited because they are artists, they are creatives. How that ends up being delivered to the public has very little to do with them, right? They make them, and then it's up to the higher ups at Cryptic or Perfect World on how to sell it, right? Mm-hmm. So when I say that they're excited, it's because they're genuinely excited. They want to get to work on these things and create these beautiful ships. But then on the other end of this spectrum are the players, right? Especially the long-term players. And I think that we need to take a moment to figure out who this is for, right? This seems to be, these bundles this last year really seem to be geared towards incoming players that may have started watching Star Trek Discovery or Picard on CBS All Access, and then are like, oh, I want to play a game now about Star Trek. Let me take a look at what's available to play. Well, a new player doesn't have all these ships because they missed out on these lock boxes, or they don't have the bank, right, that sets them up to be able to purchase these easily. So who is it for? New players, right?
Yeah,
it's for everyone.
So, but all right. So what's going to happen now with new ships, though? What are we going to do? What's going to happen with new ships?
We'll probably see most of them in lock boxes or bundles.
Yeah, or R&D packs.
Yeah, or the R&D
if
packs,
you
right.
really want to make people happy.
Remember, I mean, and those things find their way to the exchange. So, I mean, the underlying design of Star Trek Online is that you can eventually, I underscore the word eventually, fly any one of these ships without paying a dime. Eventually. But it's a long road getting from there to here.
I think that the players who have been here for a long while, this is always going to upset them. This is always going to piss us off.
Yeah.
It's always going to do it. It's always going to be like, this is bullshit. This is nonsense. Why are they bundling these ships? We already have these ships. Why do I got to buy them again? For marginal improvements for existing players, right? For existing players. Marginal improvements for long-term, the folks that have been around for 10 years. What they really should start thinking about is remembering that there are players like us, okay, the ones that take to Twitter and start moaning about these bundles, that are the choir, the one that preached the good word of Stowe for other potential players out there, right? You got to throw us a bone. Figure out how
they really don't.
to keep. No, of course they don't, Tony. Yeah, they don't
they
really.
don't. Yeah,
but
they really
it would
don't.
be nice to
nice.
throw us a bone and
nice.
figure out a way to deliver some sort of player appreciation. And you know what? If they are doing so well financially, if Star Trek Online is doing so well financially, because time and again, every time we have somebody on the show, if we talk about numbers, if they say something about numbers, this is the best year, every year is the best year for Star Trek Online, right? If that's the case, then please divert some money into improving the quality of life in Star Trek Online, because then maybe we'd go, all right, yeah, let those newbies buy these $250 ships. Go ahead, but buy these bundles, newbies, because that money is not only going to give us these tentpole events, but it's also going to go into improving systems that are buggy, systems that are outdated, systems that definitely need a facelift. I mean,
you just want to sing Ode to Joy now. Hallelujah was just the warm up. You want them to deliver some sort of quality of life improvement that lets you rip off Ode to Joy. I sense that. I hear that. That's what I hear you saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And Duck in Idaho says that quality of life improvements are a big target for 2021, according to 10 Forward Weekly.
I kind of believe it when I see it, because quality of life was supposed to be D'Angelo's thing.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to something you said a little bit ago. These things are marginal improvements to people that have been in the game a long time. Those are the only improvements that you're ever going to get, because you've been keeping up with the power creep throughout the history of the game. For new players, like you said earlier, these bundles might be very attractive because they will offer a concrete jump in capability from maybe their free to play stuff or their initial tier 6 ship purchase. Now I've got 3 tier 6 ships that I can choose from, and it will be not a marginal increase, but a concrete, magnificent increase in what they can do. And so it might be worth the $300 to them, or the $150 on sale, or whatever. So I mean, the game here is to clear out the people who will pay a high price first, and then maybe someday break out the ships into smaller bundles once that market has been cleared. But that's the story of how they're going. And like I said, I think they may be trying to wean themselves off lock boxes, or at least give them an alternative earning mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if there's any pending lawsuits, which I suspect there are, maybe they're just coming up with plan B. But not all of these bundles are bad. There have been some really good bundles. Like, I bought a bunch, I bought a fair amount of these bundles, and it's worth it to me. And I've been playing a long time, so it's not the worst thing ever. But some of them, like the $300 ones, that just seems really high.
And remember, the theory is that even with lockboxes, you're supposed to get $1.25 worth of stuff out of a lockbox. Even if it's short-term boosts and Lobby and whatever, you're supposed to be, maybe you don't get the big ship, but you do get $1.25 worth of stuff. They're hoping that you get $150 or $300 worth of stuff out of these bundles, but they'll understand if you don't see that value and want to wait for them to eventually break it out into C-store stuff eventually one day, maybe.
I just want to come on the podcast and I want to read one of these bundles. And even though we may absolutely hate it, I want to be able to say, nah, go buy it, because that money's going to go to fixing the DOFs or updating the UI for inventory and helping us manage inventory better. Or I want to be able to say those things, right? But we just got last week an update to the loadout system that broke for some people. Again, broke for some people. I saw Luke Critter posting about how whatever they did to make these loadouts save more things broke his traits, and he had to retrait his entire character again. Like, why are things like that slipping by?
Do recall that we sang the praises of the Lifetime sale last week. Okay, so I mean, there are some things which we clearly think are worth it, and we will say so when we think there are. But a lot of these bundles are currently, your mileage may vary type purchases, which it depends on the player.
Yeah, the whole respec issue after we just had the respec issue, that is real annoying.
Especially if you've got 18 alts.
Right.
Hello, 42.
Hello. 42, excuse me. I apologize. Didn't mean to undersell you there, Kat. Didn't mean to undersell you there.
I spent the last month respecing that I get to respect them all
respect
again.
But you know what though, man, is that Star Trek Online shouldn't be that. That should not be the player experience for somebody with 42 alts. I can't.
You do
believe
kind
that
of sign up for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play all of them every day. I mean, I play probably 10 regularly. But
You do kind of sign up for it when that happens. I mean,
yeah, but you get so much stylus.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that with 3 alts. I don't want to do that with 3 alts. I don't want to do that with with one character. I don't want to log into the game and have to spend 30 minutes or whatever. Yeah, 30 minutes. Fine. Let's just say 30 minutes. Even if it's 10, I don't want to spend 10 minutes being an IT person for Star Trek Online. I want to go in and I want to blow something up. I don't want to have to figure out a workaround for a feature that that should have been released and working.
Strictly speaking, you don't have to slot any traits. You could just go in and blow something up without your traits.
I don't know what. Yeah, on
you could.
I have to fire in a patrol from 10 kilometers and then reverse. So I keep my distance from the enemy target. No, I'm not going to do that, Tony.
I'm just saying, you don't. Your player experience is your own choice. If you feel the need to slot your traits, then you go right ahead, but you don't have to. You could go traitless.
But you have to do your whole skill tree and then your trait. I mean, it's not just traits. There's a whole lot involved, and it's a real annoying.
It's not, and it wasn't just your the character trait. It was the entire tree got wiped out, and people had to rebuild the whole tree. The whole tree. Space traits, ground traits, reputation traits, all that stuff, everything had to be redone. Yeah, man, I don't want to log into a video game and spend 10 minutes tidying up.
I don't think I have respect from the last thing that they did. I just jump in and just shoot stuff. I don't need it.
Well, you may not have to. I mean, the thing is, if your skills tray says invalid traits, until you want to change something, it's fine. It's still working the way you had it set up. You don't have to. But the minute you change something, you have to.
And look, I know that I've been shitting on Star Trek Online for the last 20 minutes. I get it. It sounds like I've been shitting on it. But if I really didn't like Star Trek Online,
you wouldn't complain.
Would I have produced, with the help of my beautiful partner, a hallelujah chorus?
He's being awfully nice to you.
A hallelujah chorus, right? Like, would I have done that?
Beautiful partner.
No, like
his actual beautiful partner.
That one.
Okay. It is important to realize that you can love something and be critical of it, as long as you are offering constructive criticism. You can love something and still want it to be better.
Yeah, I mean, I still logged in and did my event today because I want that targ.
Right. But on some happier news, there was some lighthearted Star Trek related gaming.
Actually, before you do that, you might want to ask the community question.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there is.
And then I want to read this.
Okay.
I want this one.
All right.
What was that, Brennan?
Hello. Oh crap.
No, you don't have to do the whistle. No, don't worry about it. Well, after bemoaning Star Trek Online for a few minutes, let's ask a community question. How do you feel about the selection and pricing of new Star Trek Online ships in 2020? Again, let us know in the comments section for this episode at PriorityOnePodcast.com, or be sure to follow us on social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where we post our community questions for you to reply to.
Well, there was also some lighthearted Star Trek-related gaming news this past week. Anthony Rapp, Discovery's Paul Stamets, tweeted out a hashtag...
Stamets.
Sorry. Anthony Rapp, Discovery's Paul Stamets, tweeted out a hashtag nerd alert on the 9th. In the tweet, Rapp declared that, quote, "There's a small but mighty group of Star Trek Discovery cast members who've begun a Dungeons & Dragons campaign," end quote. Rapp himself is apparently playing a half-elf druid, even going so far as sharing a screenshot of his character sheet. The gaming group on set is comprised of the DM, Mary Wise's husband Noah, plus Rapp and 4 fellow castmates. In the ensuing Twitter discussion, Rapp named party members as Blue Dabario, playing the Tiefling Wizard Bink, Ian Alexander playing the Elf Bard Vivi, and Emily Coots playing Half-Elf Cleric Erlia. The final member of the party is unnamed, but Rap says they're playing a Goliath Ranger. When asked about playing a Star Trek Adventures tabletop campaign, Anthony replied, quote, "We get to play Star Trek for a living. It's a very, very pleasurable living, but D&D is our escape." End quote.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's everywhere.
I know, but like now I'm dying to know who the DM is.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Who's running that adventure? Now I need to find out. Now I'm curious.
Who knows?
I know, but that's so adorable.
It's Brian Fuller.
Maybe
that
that's
joke
why
had
they
layers.
couldn't say. Oh man, is Emily Coots the one who plays Detmer?
Yes, the one who's going to die
So-
before the season's over. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
No,
Did I say that out loud?
Our live stream technician points out that the DM has been announced. Noah A.K. Mary Wiseman's husband.
Oh,
That sentence
the
is
DM.
the gaming
Oh, hey,
group on is
Oxford,
composed of the DM, which is Mary Wise's husband's Noah. Okay. I get it now.
That was helpful that
Yes.
it would have been phrased that way.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, still, man, that sounds so fun.
Yeah, I too enjoy myself a little Dungeons and Dragons from time to time, and so it's the nerds are everywhere. We're just everywhere. Yeah, can't escape us.
All right, Kat, can you sweep us up?
Yes. That's the news from. Wait a minute.
And that's the way.
And are we doing other Trek games?
Oh no,
Which sweep out am I doing?
that's the
Hold
news
on.
from Star Trek Games this week. At the bottom, very bottom. Scroll all the way down.
Yeah, there's an other in there.
It says there's an other in
remove
there.
other.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the news from Star Trek Games this week. Now let's look on screen for the newest episode in the Star Trek multiverse.
All right, that ended at 1:12:25. Nah, that'll be fine. I think I usually give Stowe to Roscoe. Brandon said that he feels bad for whoever has to edit this segment.
Sorry, Roscoe. And Jamal Taylor got my Oxford comma reference.
So we got a lively bunch of people in the chat this week, and I want to thank everybody for joining us via Virtus. I'm going to give you a Latino name, a Latino reading of that.
It was an
They're-
excellent pronunciation. I like it very much.
They're in
John
Waco,
Simon?
Texas. So represent.
And and a shout out to our regulars like Jamal and Dave Rutley and Ken from Chicago is on here, not trolling me right now, which is good.
Oh, you
Every
guys
time.
know I got
Every
to
time.
meet Panda in person last week.
Get out of here! Did you guys
We
take
were
pictures? Socially distanced pictures? You're the
Oh
one who
my
got
God.
sick.
I did not. I'm not sick.
Yet maybe Panda got you sick.
No,
I'm not. Well, okay, I feel fine. So,
Okay, good.
but traveling is. I always get sick after traveling. So, anyway, but it was awesome. We didn't take. I have pictures of Panda because we went to an arcade. So all socially distanced, everyone wearing a mask, and we played some pinball and some other games, and it was awesome.
Did you wear
Cool.
gloves at the arcade?
No, but people were
Ba-
walking around disinfecting everything.
The thing about the mask is that you take your grubby hands and put them all over grubby surfaces, and then you can't put them near your nose or your mouth. That's
Right,
Right, but
That's why
people were walking around with disinfectant. So I
So
mean,
there you
I
go.
feel like
Fine.
they were doing a good job.
Tony, remember that time we went to an arcade when you came to New York?
yes.
Remember that?
Yes,
still
I
have
do remember
picture.
that.
I still have that picture.
Yeah, that's fun.
We played the Star Trek Next Generation pinball game.
Nice.
Panda beat me because I'm stuck at that game.
You can't be good at all the games,
I know, pretty much. I suck
and you're
at all the
hopefully
games.
hopefully there's an arcade that served beer.
Oh yeah, we had some drinks.
So good, there was
Nice.
some lowered coordination there. So good.
Yeah,
I mean, that explains all.
absolutely.
That explains all. Of it.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad
Totally
you guys got
accounted for.
together. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I love it when the team gets together sometimes.
I know. I can't wait for Ticonderoga next time. when
For
we
our
go to the
500th, right?
One day.
when we
For
go
our
to the
500th.
TNG exhibit there
Oh,
when
yeah,
it opens
yeah.
too.
You know,
yeah.
I bet you they're working real fast through that.
I hope so.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I should reach out to him and find out if by our 500th.
Dude, because
will
we could
have-
plan a thing. I love planning things. We should do that.
All right.
I mean,
That would
if
be
there's,
that would be kind of cool.
I mean, it's, you know, at least we'd have something in this year to look forward to.
Technically, it would be next year, but still.
I know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like, gives you some hope.
2021. Hopefully, it will not suck quite as bad.
Oh, I got an email that said you've been something by another player. The Stone Nexus thing. I guess I had registered my game.
Oh, I don't know. What's in the Nexus for, like,
It's,
from
it's
the movie?
another Stowe parser,
Mm.
but it's got like a web interface. It's got like a website. I don't know. It feels kind of sketchy to me. I don't know if anybody in the chat used Stone Nexus. I feel like it just feels. It feels like
Oh,
a spam
no.
email.
Jamal
Yeah.
Taylor says that the Ticonderoga place says they're having a water issue.
Oh no.
So that's no
Oh,
good.
bad.
Well, I hope they get that worked out.
What was that, Brandon?
There he goes.
Brandon says
Talking
the
to
Space
Brandon.
and Rocket Center in Huntsville.
Oh.
That's because he's only a half-hour drive away from it. But yeah, way to keep it convenient for
Relevant?
you, Brandon. My pleasure. I'm glad that I could participate in this conversation. It's quiet, Brandon. Quiet.
Get it.
All right.
If you're gonna do that, I mean, vary the accent a little more than that. Come on.
Yeah, I should.
But-
I don't know what accent I would give Brandon. You're in Alabama, aren't you?
I think there's your answer right there.
That's what he just said.
Greenville,
Huntsville.
Alabama.
Huntsville.
Jenny.
Jenny,
Oh, Lord.
I'm live streaming today, Jenny.
From
No, you don't. You don't have a
Greenville,
southern accent. You
Alabama.
don't. All right. On screen. 1:17:15. On screen in 3, 2. Computer. Set. Start. Man, I have to sing on Thursday. Computer. Set Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 5. Die Trying. On screen.
Do you insert the computer sounds?
We will. Yeah. Yeah,
It
we
happens.
Oh, all right then. Captain Saru's log, supplemental and succinct, prepares the audience for arrival at the beginning of Season 3's second act. After entering the 32nd Century's version of Space Dock and some starships After entering the 32nd Century's version of Space Dock and some starship portraiture, the Viking...
do. Sorry, try that one again.
Damn it.
I made it so you didn't say porn. So
that.
that's why that's like that.
I'm glad my camera's not working.
So I can't see both your middle fingers extended in rage. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Okay.
Or the eye roll. Shots in the buttocks in the chat. All right. After entering the 32nd Century's version of Space Dock and some starship portraiture, the Viking longship Discovery
Say and some Star Trek. Just say and some. And some Star Trek portraiture.
starship.
Starship, whatever it says.
You're
Just start
ruining
from
my
the-
joke.
Start from there. No, I just got. She's. Oh, maybe I should be reading the script.
I
This
explained
whole
the joke.
time, yo, this
I
whole
know!
time.
Small, tiny
I'm
words.
sorry.
I thought
I'm
I
sorry.
did it right. Like,
She
no.
did it
It's
right.
my
She
fault.
did
It's
it
totally my
perfect.
fault. My bad. It's totally my bad.
The Viking longship Discovery. There you go.
I'm gonna blame Brandon, even though he wasn't talking to me.
Multitasking, it's hard. The Viking longship Discovery sails into Pearl Harbor and docks next to an aircraft carrier and a nuclear submarine. Saru and Michael and Adira beam down to Starfleet Command, where Adira's possession of the symbiote requires her to leave the screen, never to be seen again. Saru and Michael are confronted with the reality of the new world, where space mad cow disease not only wreaks havoc on innocent star travelers, but also offers the crew a chance to be relevant, despite being 1,000 years behind the times. After Saru posts himself as bail to get Discovery out of Time Cop jail, the Discovery mushroom drives out to the USS TARDIS to pick up the Space Mad Cow cure. On board the ship, the writers decide they need to reference Battlestar Galactica along with Doctor Who by having Michael recognize the music on the station as being the same tune Adira plays on her cello. After some classic technobabble and Discovery standard "Only Burnham can save us" action, is action the right word? Anyway, after that, Dr. Culber finds the cure, and Commander Non is removed from the recurring character list by staying aboard the TARDIS cough. Now that Discovery has cured Space Mad Cow disease, Admiral, that guy from the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie, decides not to strip the Viking longship Discovery for parts, and he apparently will send it on missions packed full of dilithium and one FTL drive in the galaxy.
And the one.
Oh, damn. And he apparently will send it on missions packed full of dilithium and the one FTL drive in the galaxy that can make a 10-month round trip happen in 3 hours. This will probably be fine. It's fine.
Totally fine.
Oh, yeah.
All right, captains, before we jump in, let's talk about some of the statistics. This episode first aired on November 12th, 2020 in the United States. Teleplay by Sean Cochran, story by James Duff and Sean Cochran, directed by Maja Vrivillo.
Sure.
All right.
I bet that's how it's pronounced.
You know what? I want to take a moment to talk about this director because I thought that this episode was very well executed and very well staged, directed, filmed, the whole 9 yards. I was just pulled right in from the beginning. And this director has done Trek before. They worked on Perpetual Infinity for Star Trek Discovery. They worked on 2 episodes in Star Trek Picard. They worked on a short Trek, and they have quite a number of other really good television titles under their belt, like Gotham and Preacher, Hawaii Five-0. Like, these aren't no-name shows. And so kudos to her. I don't know what pronoun they prefer, but this was, I thought, just very well directed off the bat.
Yeah.
Two things. Oh, good. You go.
Oh, good.
No, you go.
I agree with you, Elio, that I did not have any issues with the direction, the pacing. My favorite moment, Cronenberg and Georgiou. I thought that was maybe one of the best scenes of all of Discovery. But yeah, I had some issues with some of the other stuff. But yeah, what did you think, Tony?
No, one thing that's hard to do is keep the screen from being too busy, especially when the script says show all the spaceships and all the things. You know, she did a pretty good job of showing people visually what was happening in that first opening sequence, and really sort of called back to, let's say, Star Trek 3 when the Enterprise first comes in and sees the Excelsior, and giving you the idea of being inside an enclosed space where other big starships dock. I mean, that was pretty well done, and there were a lot of other moments in there where you could tell where she wanted your eyes to go, and you had no problem going there. And something that we've talked about in the After Hours thing is I've always found the Discovery to be a really ugly ship. And I never have liked the design at all. But in this episode, the way the director shot the ship, it wasn't nearly as terrible as I usually see it. And you saw the ship doing things and having things done to it. Rather than some sort of shoulder shot where you see only part of the ship, you see the whole ship and you see things happening to it, giving you a sense of scale of what's happening to the vessel and showing you how it moves. They don't do that very much, and this director did, and I have high praise for that. I'm also going to take her to task in a minute for that same reason, but for the moment, I found that to be really good.
It's funny that you bring up the moment that the ship comes in, because another star performer in that scene was Mary Wiseman. I feel like Mary Wiseman was the only one who was genuinely excited. Like she wasn't acting. Whereas everyone else, there was that moment where they're in the corridor, and get that video ready, Brandon, because it's gonna be funny. They're in that corridor and they're looking out the window, and all the other lower deckers are rushing, and it's very theatrical, and we're gonna look. And it's funny because there's actually a theater guy that does these memes, and Brandon's pulling it up now. How to open a door if you're a man in a musical. And so there's this moment of like,
Okay, because this is a radio show, what you don't see is Elio jumping around in the background, hands to his face, shouting and dancing and prancing. That's
right.
For radio purposes, that's what he was doing.
So that took me out of it a little bit, just a little bit. It just felt a little over the top, but still, I stick to my comment that this director did an excellent job of it.
And Mary Wiseman was just a treasure. You can just say that and stop.
Yeah.
So you can just say that and stop.
I love her.
So let me ask you guys this. I feel that it's safe to say, and I kind of feel like you guys might actually agree with me on this one. This felt traditionally formulaic.
Yes.
To its predecessors of the franchise. And
yes.
With that in mind then, what was the morality play? What was this episode trying to convey and discuss and talk about and address? Was there a theme?
They weren't trying to have one this time, which I thought was refreshing. This was, we have a problem and we need to fit in. We need to try to figure out a way to merge what's important to us with what's important to the people around here. And we're going to try to do that by being good at our jobs, even though our jobs are 1,000 years old.
Well, and they were presented with the threat of being split apart, so they're trying to show their unity and cohesion, right? But also, I mean, I don't know if we talked about Nan, but she sacrificed herself for her mission, or to complete the mission of the people of her race. So maybe as a moment of honor for her.
This non-story arc was done so well with it being within an episode. I can't help but compare it to Arium and what they did with that, how they tried to force us to feel something for Arium. It was a whole episode of Arium's life before, walking on the beach with her partner, and that felt very, very forced and unnatural, and I didn't buy into it in any way, shape, or form. They were pushing us to feel something because they were going to kill her off. In this episode, everything flowed well. Everything was natural. Nan was finally given more than just yum, right? Like, it was just, she was given depth. She was given purpose, and that actress did a phenomenal job with it. And I thought to myself at the end of that episode, gee, I kind of don't want her to go now. She's got life now. There's depth in the character.
She can come back later. That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't kill her, because that would have been sad.
Maybe they're learning some things.
There is a lot of melodrama. I mean, even when you're saying the direction of this show, it seemed like everyone, and Z just pointed that out, that everyone speaks like in intense whispers. Like it's all very, I really care about what's happening right this minute. It's all a lot.
Well,
that's the director doing what she can with the script.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there was a lot of that this episode. A lot of Michael whispering intently.
That's every week.
But that's a television thing now. That's a thing of today's television, though. Patrick Stewart, when in one of the interviews, many interviews that he had done about Picard, he had talked about how he was learning from these new actors, because when you're a stage performer, you do not rely on microphones. Everything is from the diaphragm, and you are projecting, and you are not going to rely on a piece of equipment to get your voice heard across the audience, right? And so I remember him specifically even mentioning that about how he learned from them to tone it down, to trust the microphone, to speak quietly, and to trust that the device is going to pick up the nuances that nobody, except for me, really, talks like this. I remember in college. In college, I took a class about acting for screen, and like the first thing, it was a recurring thing for me. Elio, tone it back. You don't have to project. You don't have to project. You're not on stage. Just speak like a normal human. Just not speak like a normal human being, but speak like you would in a closed, intimate space
at about half speed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's and unfortunately, I think that's what is happening a lot, especially with these dramatic things that have to happen. They're trying to do the quiet thing, and they're slowing way down, and they're squeezing in as much as they can out of it. And yeah, it doesn't seem like how real people talk.
Exactly.
It just doesn't. Except for when Mary Wise says that's a flying rainforest. When she says it, I think that's real. But when people start talking about how Michael Burnham once again is the only one that can possibly save the situation, and I get it, she's the lead. It's probably in her contract. I get it, but it's week after week when she is saving the bacon for everybody.
Yeah, why couldn't Non get through to that guy?
I know
it was going just fine.
So
crazy.
Speaking of Non, I do want to take a moment to say the actor's name. I think it's important to recognize the talent and the people who are behind it. Rachel and Cheryl is the actor that plays Non, and I think did a phenomenal job this episode. And I'm sad to see her go because she did such great work this episode.
Probably be back.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, but because she's flying a TARDIS, but so she can go anywhere in space and time.
Too is if I was an actor in Star Trek and I'm coming into this and my character sucks, I would feel like Denise Crosby did. You know what? This isn't for me. I'm gonna go and do something else because I'm not. This is not feeding the creator in me, and so maybe this actor felt that way, and then they had to write her off. She, the contract ended and she moved on. Hopefully not. Hopefully she comes back. But this could very well be. They
had to write her off because they got too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna bring in their engineering chick, the blonde one.
No, there's just too many of them. I mean, you got like 5 or 6 of them on the bridge. You got Tilly and Stamets and Reno and Saru. I mean, there's just too many. There's too many characters. There's too many of them. They've got to make cuts someplace. Now they're bringing in the Admiral and the Admiral's assistant.
Right.
So those are going to be recurring characters now too. I mean, it just gets unwieldy and too much.
I mean, can we talk about Giorgio and David Cronenberg?
Yes.
Please.
That was fun.
Oh my God.
The blinking thing was stupid. They needed to cut that. That was just dumb. Just go straight to the Cronenberg stuff. Yeah, just go straight to that guy. Don't lead up. You don't need a wind up for that.
I love the whole thing. I thought it was fantastic.
That was just fun.
I have had a hard time jumping on the Giorgio train because I have felt that the character has been one-dimensional, no real depth. We see a little bit of depth when she lets her guard down for Burnham, but something like that hasn't happened in a long time. And so I've been really struggling to like Michelle Yeoh's character and Michelle Yeoh's portrayal. And then this episode happened. And boy, oh boy, did that change my mind. And for the first time, I was like, yeah, I want to know about, Giorgio. Yeah, be that. Yeah, let's get that depth in that character. Let's dig a little deeper than what we've seen before.
Absolutely. God, I loved everything about that scene. So good.
Don't worry. They're going to connect her to some subspace thing messing with her brain that's going to explain the burn and the music, and they'll ruin it. Don't worry. Give them a couple of more episodes, and they'll just wreck it all. They'll go back to you thinking it's stupid. It's okay.
And a shout out to both the directing and David Cronenberg himself. There is when singing a song, right? there are moments in a song where the actor either has a moment to take a breath, a literal breath, and inhale. But a lot of singing actors, a lot of actors have a hard time figuring out what to do in a breath during that space of a breath, how to connect things and stay in the moment. And there was that one moment where David Cronenberg takes a breath just before he's going to start explaining to her. Man, it blew my mind. I was like, man, that is some nuanced craftsmanship right there. He takes this, I'll tell you this, and it was just so beautifully delivered. What a beautiful scene between the two of them. Just so well done.
And I think right there, I mean, it seems stupid to comment on a breath like that, but I get you. And I think that's because most of the other time in Discovery, with the exception of Mary Wiseman saying that's a rainforest on a ship, everything appears to be so overwrought and carefully constructed. When that guy did that, I know exactly what you're talking about. It seemed like he was a real old man trying to do something unpleasant.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. I mean, he just did that's what an old man who had to talk to some crazy woman would do. Right. That's
where the dialogue in it's so key there, and all we have is action. We gotta do everything, but then you get this moment of zen.
Yeah,
it was a moment of
zen. That's an excellent.
It was a moment of zen.
Yeah. Yep. And comparatively, there's scenes from last week's episode where there were many times when people would be delivering a specific line, and there was this awkward, stupid pause that was just so out of place and just. But here, especially that scene with Cronenberg, everything had purpose. Everything had a moment. There was a beat to everything, and just that was an excellent scene.
I wish we had more of that.
Can we talk about the TARDIS for a second?
Yeah, what TARDIS? What are you talking about?
The seed ship.
Why do you call it a TARDIS though?
Because it's bigger on the inside.
I thought that too, because it's this teeny tiny. It's supposed to have all the seeds of all the world, and it's this tiny thing.
It would 18 of them would fit in the shuttle bay. It's smaller than one of the Discovery shuttles. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I said they did such a good job of showing Discovery in its environment and giving you a sense of scale and what happens to it. And the seed ship, which holds, like Kat said, every seed from all the Federation, it's smaller than their shuttle. And when they're having this big problem about what to do with Non and the sick person, whatever, they could have just stuck it in the shuttle bay and taken it back to space dock. They got room in space dock. There's all kinds of room in space dock. They can just park it there. It'd be fine.
You bring up something that I've been thinking about as I've been watching The Mandalorian, and I rewatched Rogue One this last weekend, that they really screwed up the visual aesthetics for Star Trek. Insofar that when you watch Rogue One or any of the new Star Wars or Mandalorian, they're not upping or enhancing or reimagining what the cockpit of a ship looks like. It's still beep, boop, beep, boop, gumdrop. It's still gumdrop buttons and toggles and switches, right?
Yep.
And you gotta give them credit, because that brings and delivers a charm to those films and that show.
Continuity
that I think really, really just drives home how good the storytelling is, right? That they don't have to rely on spending and blowing their budget on reimagining what the ship would look like. And I gotta say, man, I really think that they did themselves a terrible disservice by trying to reimagine, the Bridge of the Enterprise, reimagine what the Discovery Bridge would look like, which was in TOS era. I'm not saying it needed to be Technicolor spectacular, right? It didn't need to be 60s Technicolor. But if they would have toned back the first 2 seasons of the technology, I think that we would be really impressed and be perhaps even more open-minded about what we're seeing now in the 900 years in the future.
I agree.
Yeah. That was obviously they weren't planning on bringing these people 900 years in the future when they were doing season 1, but yeah, that's exactly the missed opportunity. Is that all these holograms and things that were completely out of place in what we as Star Trek fans remember as 23rd century aesthetic would have been exactly right at home in the 32nd century. And yeah, now they're trying to imagine, even farther ahead technology wise, and it just doesn't work. It's like
makes it very awkward.
Yeah. Your ship's 1,000 years old, and yet your interfaces and your design aesthetics look like the people 1,000 years ahead of you.
Right.
Yeah,
so
they just have that groovy programmable matter, but how much does that cost when you didn't even need to do that?
And I just think it's a reflection of either they don't have enough confidence in their story, or they were given a budget and they said, let's just make it look pretty, or somebody made a decision to make it look pretty, and yet you got Mandalorian that's killing it, and it still toggles and switches on the spaceship, and they're in a galaxy far, far away. I mean, I feel like it was a missed opportunity. But anyway, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of On Screen. I forgot what we were doing. Yeah.
Well, we started this episode last Thursday.
We did.
Yeah, it's been like 5 years.
All right, go ahead and super sound, Cat.
Oh crap! I just closed the document accidentally. My bad. Hold please. All right.
Happened, Brandon?
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Brandon's talking.
It's all good. You just have to say that wraps up this week in On Screen. Now let's open Hailing Frequencies.
I got it. Oh. That wraps up this week's On Screen for Star Trek Discovery. Now let's open Hailing Frequencies and see what's incoming.
All right, 141.40.
I guessed 142.30. I was off by a little.
We will talk about Voyager and we will probably in After Hours, but we're limited in time.
Yeah, we can only take 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's right. For those of you who are watching us live right now, we do have a Patreon page where if you find value in the show and you think that you want us to continue to produce the quality content you've come to expect, we offer for $10 a month, not a week, not a day, $10 a month. You get access to our secondary show called After Hours, where we bring in a panel of guests to talk about whatever's happening that week in Star Trek. So, for instance, we've been talking about Discovery, and Dr. Robert Hurt, who produces our Astrometrics report, joins us. Roscoe, one of our audio editors, joins us for that. So if you're interested, we're definitely going to talk about the Nog ship and Voyager and those little moments of Easter eggs. We'll be talking about that in After Hours. So
Voyager J.
As a preview.
You know what? So actually, a shout out to Duncan, Idaho, who managed to pop out an image. We were talking about Vikings, and boom, popped out a tardigrade in a Viking outfit.
Oh my god, I want to see it.
Go ahead, Trent. Yeah, there we go. There it is.
Oh, that is so cute.
I know. Thank you.
The Viking Longship Discovery.
The Viking Longship Discovery. Shout out to Duncan.
I love the tardigrades. I want a t-shirt. I would wear it.
And while we're transitioning into our next segment, don't forget, if you're watching us on Twitch, subscribe and hit that like button. Hit whatever reaction you feel is deserved. We are deserving of.
Viking helmet would be appropriate this time.
Yes. All right.
Is that a reaction?
Back in 144.00. You're welcome to. I this week I'm gonna sit out, so you're welcome to join, Brandon.
What?
Yes.
So Leo will be in after.
I need. No, actually, my voice is feeling a little. I sang.
He's got to keep the pipes clean.
Oh, do you get the chlorophyll spray?
No, I have something called singer's throat spray, and I drink a lot of throat coat, and I got to sing on Thursday, and I pushed myself a little too hard today when I was practicing.
Then you can't talk like Celine Dion.
Nope. All right, feedback. I'm sorry, we were at one. Make it 144.45. 144.45. Feedback in 3, 2. Well, captains, hailing frequencies are now open, and we're ready to receive all of your incoming messages.
Last week, our first community question was Janeway justified in splitting Tuvix to save Tuvok and Neelix? Was Tuvix murdered? And this is a hot-button topic for most of you.
On Twitter, Evan writes, Tuvix was murdered. Janeway was responsible, but other than the doctor, all the senior officers and Kess were complicit.
Also from Twitter, Joshua J. Sloan responded, murdering one person to bring back 2 dead people is not justified.
Again from Twitter, Seth Harvest replied, he was begging for his life. No, she was not justified.
From Facebook, Joseph Corlito Morel says, yes, it reminds me of an episode of Stargate Atlantis where a random chick and Rodney got all messed up. To have 2 people inherit the same body is unfair and will cause harm.
Also on Facebook, Matthew Mevis wrote, Tuvok and Neelix were people on her crew roster. Tuvix was not.
Again from Facebook, AJ Biega responded with several paragraphs saying in summary, yes, she was justified. I hear people say that Janeway commits murder, but Tuvix does as well. For him to live, he kills 2 other people.
Is it back to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Kenneth writes, Janeway was justified. Tuvix was not murdered. He was just being that. He was just a being that was formed by an accident that needed to be corrected. In the end, Tuvix attempted to be selfish and cause a lot more pain to everyone around him.
From Facebook, Paul-Andre Leduc says, to be or not to be. Tuvix's memory is still shared by Tuvok and Neelix. When Tuvix screams, I want to live! Neelix and Tuvok also scream they want to live. Shared mind. Even Tuvix didn't feel right. He felt out of place. It might have brought the 2 men closer just for that shared experience.
Eileen Brown wrote, it was quite poignant when Tuvix was forced to go through the separation. He had become a personality in his own right, but having said that, he was depriving the other 2 from regaining their identities too.
From Facebook, Christian Matthews, a proud member of the Priority 1 Klingon fleet, the House of Grilka, says, as a proud member of Grilka, I'm going to say yes. A, it's questionable to say that Tuvix is a separate being. B, utilitarians would demand that we sacrifice 1 to save 2, as would a certain DS9 game. C, I'm of the theory that both Neelix and Tuvok's chakras, souls, etc., were fused into one rather than creating a whole new being. As such, for all of the above, the separation is justified.
That's deep.
Wow.
That's some spirituality there.
It's a lot.
Our second community question last week was, has the shift in the content release model for Star Trek Online affected how you play?
I thought that was this week's community question.
No, this is about the pricing.
Oh, the content. No, that was about the content, like how they shifted that.
Yeah, how they
That's
release
right.
content, the cadence.
Right. Correct. From Twitter, Seth Harvest writes, I just missed this last Red Alert event because I was so burned out. I really don't play anymore. I log in, do the event once, and if my fleet doesn't say anything, log out. It's like a job. Aww.
I'm telling you, I kind of feel that way too sometimes, especially when I got to log in and fix things that they broke or didn't fix.
Yeah, it does seem like that lately, and I want to blame COVID-19, but with all of the recent, bundles, our favorite, and some other things, like I really do feel like, yeah, you just have to log in to get the thing, and it's not super fun to play the missions anymore. I can't even remember the last time I really played a mission for fun.
Well, that wraps up episode 487 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. But there are more great shows available to you on the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Just visit podcasts.roddenberry.com for a complete list. Then be sure to subscribe to them all and share them with your friends.
And we can't forget to send a special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters like David K. Rutley, Peter Archibald, Gerald Bosch, and Joshua Selig.
It was back to me, is it? Mm-hmm. And here's a reminder of our community questions for this week. Do you think LeVar Burton should be the next host of Jeopardy? If so, did you sign the petition? And if not, why didn't you sign it? Go sign it now. Also, how do you feel about the selection and pricing of the new Star Trek Online ships in the year of our Lord 2020?
You know, it seemed appropriate when I said it.
For some reason, I wanted to say it. And
I know. I did it earlier too. It just felt right.
You did?
I said it earlier too. I said it earlier too.
Then you planted the seed. Okay.
I must have. Yeah.
I thought you said it because he said it.
I did too.
No,
but I mean, it just felt right. It just required it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Captains, it's important to us that you get your voice heard and that you participate in the conversation. Leave us a comment on our website at PriorityOnePodcast.com, on our Facebook page at Facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast. Or you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOnePod.
Hey,
and
Sean.
if you're...
Go ahead.
What?
Go.
Hi, whoever you're shouting out to.
Well, I'll give a shout out to Via Virtus, who gave us a Prime sub this month.
Oh, thank you so much.
Nice. But you didn't give him the full Latin treatment there, like you did earlier.
Via Virtus.
There you go.
Nice. Where were we? Oh, yeah. If you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Winters, Anthony, Thomas, me, plus the rest of the Priority One Armada on Saturday nights. The Armada broadcasts live to review the latest news from Star Trek Online and the Armada community, including spotlighting some of our amazing members. With regular giveaways, there's something for all Star Trek Online players, whether you're new or a veteran. Follow us on all our social media accounts for broadcast times. And if you'd like to join the Armada, visit PriorityOneArmada.com.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to set... And if you're still... Is this where we are? Where are we?
No, you're on the next... I just literally said that.
It says cat there. That's why she said that part.
Okay, is this episode of Priority One? Is that where we are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This episode of Priority One Podcast is brought to you by our patrons through Patreon.com. Captains, during these difficult times, we are humbled by the continued support of our patrons who find value in the content that we produce each and every week. And don't forget, we aren't just asking for your money. You can also join the team and become a volunteer. We're looking for audio editors to join the group because many hands make for light work.
I feel like we should put the Letterkenny meme in here somewhere. More hands make less work.
Nice.
Don't forget to tune in to Priority One Productions' Guard Frequency podcast at guardfrequency.com. Each episode, the Guard will take you inside the universe of your favorite space sims, including a tabletop adventure played out by your hosts. And Heroes Rise brings you up to date with the world of Dungeons and Dragons, like the cool Discovery people like to do. Learn all about the latest publications, tools, tips, tricks, and traps in less time than it takes to skin a wyvern. Head over to heroesrisepodcast.com to discover their secrets.
Thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, Brandon, William, Rand, Daniel, Roscoe, and Skiffy. And speaking of Brandon, shout out to him for joining. And we got disconnected.
Oh, snap.
I hope we...
Just when you were about to say nice things about Brandon.
I hope we're still live.
I mean, it
might not be.
Shows that we're still live.
All right. Thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, Brandon, William, Rand, Daniel, Roscoe, and Skiffy. Speaking of Brandon, a big shout out to him for... How do I...
Being the voice in your head.
For being my imaginary friend.
That's a good one. I like that. And speaking of Brandon, a big shout out to him for being the voice in my head this episode as our live stream technician. It's not an easy job, but Brandon did a heck of one this week. So Brandon, kudos to you. Thank you so very much. Thanks to our producer Jake and associate producers Shane and Thomas. Together they help organize and write up our summary of the weekly headlines from the Star Trek multiverse. Thanks to our social media manager Anthony. Thanks to our graphic artist Henry, with support from Jason of the Priority One Armada. Thanks to the composer of our theme music, Chris Watts. But most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners, because without your ongoing support, none of this would be possible. All right, 154.50. All right, we got to do Eagle Moss before we switch over. I just forwarded you guys the Eagle Moss document again, just in case you needed it.
Oh, in our email?
Yeah.
I think I got it.
All right.
We've been doing it for a while now.
We have been. All right. So Eagle Moss is one. Oh, I'll give Kat a second to pull it up.
Oh, I never realized there was an attachment.
Come on, lawyer.
What? I
We don't have
just
to
read
stop.
the.
Remember,
thing.
Brendan. We don't have to stop now.
I just read the.
Oh, Dave
email
Rutley.
itself.
Yeah, man. We don't have to hit stop anymore, man. We're using a new thing called Riverside.fm. It's a web portal designed specifically for podcasters. So now we don't have to record our own streams on our own anymore. Now it just automatically records. Super nifty.
You're just hoping it never messes up.
Meow.
Meow.
Sorry. She just now is brave enough to leave her room since I've had the extra dog. It's been like 6 months. Okay, I'm good.
We will, yes. And then you can, Brendan, you can take us out with the video again. And don't forget to mute us all out when you play the video. All right, you guys ready for Eagle Moss?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so 156.25, please. Captains, before we move on to gaming news this week, we need to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Eagle Moss, and their Hero Collector series of Star Trek Online starships. Captains, over the last 4 weeks, we've been unboxing these ships live on air, where we've held it up to the camera. And you know what? Honestly, holding it up to a webcam doesn't do these ships justice. But I can tell you this. They are impressive. From the box to the ship itself, these are high-quality die-cast models that are stunning replicas of what you see in Star Trek Online. Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. I love mine. I got the Romulan one. But you also get the, in the box, you get the little magazine, and it has some really cool artwork in there. And, man, it's just a cool presentation altogether.
Right now, the collection's got 6 new ships exclusive to Eagle Moss. They're all from Star Trek Online, taken from the 3D models themselves. So what you see in the game is what you're going to see on your desk. In addition to the, we've got Nog's ship, the Chimera. We've got the Romulan Warbird cruiser. We got Jemadar's ship. Got the Klingon Bortos Q. There's a model for you, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget about the Baran, my favorite.
And the Baran. Sorry I left that off.
Well, yeah.
And here's the thing, Captains. The holidays are right around the corner. And so if you're looking to kind of spend and splurge for yourself, or if you have to tell that special someone and give them hints on what to get you, if you don't already own an Eagle Moss ship, you definitely need to take advantage of this. If you do own Eagle Moss ships, you should take advantage of this. Why? Because not only are these ships just $30, but if you use coupon code priority10 at checkout, the priority word, and then 10 at checkout, you save 10% on your order. Plus, you get free shipping. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't jump on this offer. 10% off, free shipping. Ships are just $30. You get everything that Kat described in the box, a stand, a beautiful stand to put it on. It is just every Star Trek fan's dream. It should be every Star Trek fan's goal to collect at least a couple, if not several, of these ships, especially the ones that are your favorite. And why not bring Star Trek Online to life and display it proudly wherever else you display all your Star Trek goodies? Of course, we thank Eagle Moss for their ongoing support of Priority One Podcast. And check it out. The handy website will be PriorityOnePodcast.com/ships, or visit our website, because we've got it splashed all over it.
Did you talk
All
about
right, no, not yet.
promo code?
Not yet. I did say the promo code. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
All right, Captains, that's it for this episode of Priority One Podcast. Again, I want to thank Brandon, who has been working behind the scenes to make
Time code.
Oh, time code. It was 159.55.
There you go.
Yes, that's right. A big thanks to Brandon, who was working behind the scenes to make sure that I could try to help keep my focus. And even then, I still was not focused.
Well, it's hard when you're talking to your imaginary friend.
That's true.
Brandon Snuffleupagus.
So thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. And thank you all. This was really active chat. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed to Priority One, wherever you are watching us right now, if you're on Facebook, hit that follow button. If you're on Twitch, hit that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. More importantly, hit the like button and react. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll be able to be excited about something in Star Trek Online again next week. Until then, say goodnight, everybody.
Night,
Bye,
everybody.
y'all. See ya.
Brandon says goodnight. Oh, can't hear.
Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.